Okay, woohoo! Here's our last classwork of the school year. Last classwork 11.5, page 786, 1 through 9, 13 through 25, odd. And as you'll see on these from the homework, they've gotten a lot more complicated, added a few more steps to what we're going to have to do, but and the key temptation of these is just kind of general panic and magic and just start throwing numbers together and doubling things and subtracting things. And we want to try to take a real careful approach and make sure we know, okay, what are we looking for and how can we reason our way to that answer. So number 13, it asks find arc, so notice not angle, arc CD. So we need to find this right here. Okay, and so you stand back and you look at, okay, what information have they given us? And how can we find that arc? I can see with the 150, I don't know either, I don't know this angle here, so I'm not quite prepared to immediately solve for this arc. But what I do begin to see is, always keep in mind the entire circle is 360. So it's 360 all around, and I can see, I know this is 150, I know this is 64, and to find this distance, FD, I've got this 50 degrees here. So if I knew this, well, then the total would just be 360. So that would allow me to find the difference being CD, because everything adds up to 360. So let's actually start on this problem with finding FD. Then that will allow me to calculate CD. Okay, so if we look at this, this is an external vertex. Next thing to notice, okay, what situation are we dealing with? We have an external vertex. So that means this BF minus FD cut in half equals 50. And that's so we can write that out and we can reason our way to it. We can calculate it. Now, if you can do this kind of thing in your head, that's fine. I'm going to show you the real slow and steady way, because that's my approach in these videos. So in other words, 50 is equal to half of the two angles subtracted, 150 minus and FD. Okay? Because this minus this cut in half gives me this exterior angle. So first thing to always do is double this answer. Where you have the 1/2, you're just going to multiply both sides times 2, because that cancels out. So that means this is 100 equals 150 minus FD. So what 150 minus something is 100. That something must be 50. Oops, let me write it over here. So 50 equals arc, and this is arc. I've just been kind of trying to save time, but arc FD. So that means this, and don't get confused, it doesn't always equal each other, but this FD is just 50 degrees. Okay? Because I can see 150 minus 50 is 100. 100 cut in half happens to be the same number, 50. All right, so now I know the three pieces. I know this is 64. I know this is 150. I know this is 50. So that means the leftover is CD. So if I add these three up together and subtract from 360, I'll have it. So 150 plus 50 is 200. 200 plus 64 is 264. So from C all the way to D this way is 264. So now if I go 360 minus 264, I'll have what I'm looking for, and that is 96. 96 degrees. So CD is 96. Okay, so what we did, again, we used our exterior angle to find the missing piece here, and then we knew that all four angles must add up to 360. Once I knew three of them, I could subtract to find the bottom one, CD, which is 96 degrees. Okay, on to 15. Let's see what happens here. Number 15, we are finding arc KN. K is here, K to N. So we are looking for this piece of the arc. Okay? And so one thing I can see is that this arc, and there's lots of drawings here, so we've got exterior angle M, but we also have interior angle here with the vertex Q. And these problems are particularly complicated because they ask two different questions from them. So that means some of the information on here might be extra. So what I'm going to focus in on is I can see that this angle comes from this vertex And I know its opposite is 86. So I can see that this interior, I know that this angle here, I'm going to mark it right here. It's PQJ, but I don't want to keep saying that. PQJ, I know that this plus the angle arc I'm looking for, KN, equals half, or cut in half equals this, twice as big as this. So in other words, if I could find angle Q, or PQJ, then I could go ahead and solve for KN. And I say that because I can see here, this is a very easy relationship to unravel. That these are supplementary. Whenever you have two lines that cross, this angle plus this angle equal 180 degrees. So I can just do 180 minus 79, which is going to be 101. So I very easily can find this angle is 101. This one. This would be 79. This would also be 101, but who cares right now? 101. So now I can say, okay, this is an internal vertex. So that means the opposite intercepted arcs, this plus this, equal 180. I'm sorry, this plus this equal twice as much as this. So I can set it up just like I did on number 13. I can say, okay, so my angle 101 equals half of 86 plus Kn. Okay, so once again, I know the angle in one of the intercepted arcs, and we're finding the other missing intercepted arc. Okay, so we want to go ahead and double this, okay, just like we did on the last problem, times 2. And so we get 202 equals 86 plus Kn. So now if we just subtract our 86, we'll have our Kn. So 201 minus 86. Actually, I haven't calculated that one yet. Let's just double check. Got my calculator over here. Okay, and we managed to do that correctly. Okay, so that is 116 equals Kn. So this entire, not Ln, but K to N, is 116 degrees. Now, there were several ways we could have solved that. I went with what I think was the simplest way, which again, you're looking at just this. We can ignore this for this problem because this is extra information. But we have an internal one so that the arcs on either side, and notice it's not this piece, it's the entire Kn piece. These two added up, cut in half, equal this internal angle, which is 116. Okay, let's jump to number 19. Number 19, we are finding arc XZV. XZV. Oh, so we're going, it's a big one. It's going to be a big number, or, you know, a couple hundred, 200 or so would be my guess. All right, so we're finding that entire arc. Now again, lots of drawings, lots of information. They've got multiple questions for this drawing, so don't get overwhelmed by everything that's there. Let's just look and say, okay, well, I know this. They've already told me what XZ is. It's 180 degrees. So I know this piece, so now all I really need to know is this piece right here. All right, and they've given me a nice little angle right there. This is on the vertex, so this is even going to be a simple problem to solve. I'm just going to do it in my head. Because if it's on the vertex, then the intercepted arc, VZ in this case, is just twice as big as that angle. So if this is 40, this is, yes, very good, 80. So I know that V to Z is 80 degrees. I know what X to Z is, so now XZV is simply the sum of those two numbers. 180 plus 80 equals, I believe, 260. Sometimes you're just never sure. Make some of these videos early in the morning. Brain's not quite warmed up. 260 degrees. Okay? So you're going to see this one, and the next two I'm going to go over. I think these are the more complicated ones of the classwork, just because you have to reason your way. It's a little anyway, more steps and slightly more difficult calculations. So this one's a little more straightforward. We know this is 180, so this must be a diameter. And then we just calculate this piece, and we can add them together and get 260. Okay, we're going to do two more. So doing a lot of this classwork with you, so hope you have come along for the ride. Alrighty, here we go, 21. We're trying to find an angle now, angle ABC. So angle ABC. So you can see they've given us an internal vertex, not the one that you can find immediately, but one we're just going to have to use an extra step to calculate. In other words, if I can find this angle here, these two are simply, that's right, supplementary. They add up to 180. So let's go ahead and use the info they've given us to find this angle, and then we can calculate ABC. So this is an internal vertex, so that means the two intercepted arcs add up to this internal angle. So we have 100 plus 145. Let's just do that in our head. 100 plus 45 equals 145. And then half of that equals angle ABD. Okay, so half of 145 is 72.5. 72.5. So that's this guy right here. Right? So don't click that on the quizzes because you found this angle. They wanted ABC. Yes, that's correct. So that just means they're supplementary. 180 minus 72.5 is, drum roll, 107.5. And that is correct. 107.5 equals angle ABC. So again, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Could almost do it all in your head. Sometimes just be aware you can find the basic angle, but they might be asking for something else. And so then make sure you do the extra step and don't just go with the first calculation that you make. Also, internal angle, we added them. Where external, we're going to, that's right, subtract. So last one, here we go. The very last problem of the classwork of 2019 and 20 for geometry. Praise Jesus. Number 25. We're just solving for x. So we've got x. He's a nice little external angle here, or vertex. And so that means that this arc, which they've given us, is 20 degrees. It's a little one. And this one subtracted, no letters or anything, would be twice as big, or if you cut it in half, you would get this angle here. So I need to find this arc, or else I can't calculate this, or I need to know the angle. So they've given me this 104. They've given me this 104, and they've given me this dot right through the middle, showing me that this is a diameter. So in other words, I know what this entire arc is. And so if I know what this entire arc is, I can find this missing piece here. This entire arc is half of the circle, so it's 180. So this plus this plus this equal 180. Or 180 minus 20 and 104, so I'm going to combine those to 124, is going to give me 56. Is that right? 56, yep. So that means this guy here is 50, or maybe gal, or it, 56 degrees. Okay, so once I have this as 56, now I can just use the basic relationship and we'll have x, which is, because it's exterior, we're going to subtract them. 56 minus 20, and then we'll cut that in half. And we will be done. So exciting. 36, half of 36 is 18. And that is all she wrote. 18 degrees. No tears. Don't cry. We shall part with smiles and brave looks, for we shall meet again. And of course, you can always Zoom chat me if you have other questions, but that is our last classwork. Probably will not sure if there'll be a video with your review because it's just review, but you're welcome to contact me and ask for help because I would love to help you. Don't be shy. Don't wimp out on this last test. Learn something and then celebrate it this Friday. There you go. Classwork 11.5, 5 practice problems. You can do it.